Ash says the fandom was better when everybody hated us. Hot or cold?
I'll say that's cold.
You agree with it? Okay. Jeez.
I'm gonna have to go with Usagi as well on this one.
You agree that the fandom was better when people hated us? Okay. Drexel.
I have no idea.
Okay, well, then I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to say this is a hot take. Why do you guys think that the fandom was better when other people hated us?
It felt like a unique thing. Like, basically, say, for example, because all of a sudden now everyone likes... I don't know. Think of it like, basically, when people just kind of jump on the bandwagon later on, like, oh, now it's cool to like this, but before you're like, oh, you get made fun of. Kind of like, say, for example, you like certain anime from back then. You
Sure.
got kind of made fun of that back in the day.
You did?
And now, since it's considered cool and mainstream, now all of a sudden everyone's kind of just joining on the trend.
Sure. He's going to wait for yourself.
I want to build on what Usagi is saying. And people have made this point that I've seen in the past, so I'm going to kind of reiterate what they're making.
Sure.
I don't claim this idea on my own. Back before COVID, fandoms were a very niche thing.
That's true.
Like, look at anime, look at the furry fandom. But ever since COVID, the normies, I use quotation marks, the normies have come in and basically have taken over the fandoms. And you can see this on, like, I've seen it a lot on TikTok, where, like, there are, like, people complaining about, like, how, like, there's only one true ship, and people who ship other people, like, the whole Avatar The Last Airbender ships with, Katara and Aang and Katara and Zuko, people are complaining about Katara and Zuko because only it's Katara and Aang, or like they're complaining about fanfiction. And someone had made this point. People are not wanting to join fandoms; they're wanting to join on in trends.
Okay, so you feel like the fandom got diluted as more people joined and became more mainstream.
More specifically, the normies, I guess you should say.
Okay, but if they joined the fandom, are they actually normies?
I guess it's how they act.
Poof. Yo, Thomas. Hello there. Yeah, then come on in. Join us. You can jump in the back if you wanted to join in on these hot takes.
How upsized am I? I'm kind of upsized for the room, aren't I?
You're so big.
Yeah. I know.
Dude, I love your avatar, though.
I'm just a big personality.
No,
Oh, yeah?
Avatar is fucking sick.
Are we ramped into this somehow? Wait,
You'll be behind
what's your
Kink
frick?
if you stand here.
Yes. That is the dead zone.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where your framing is on this.
Oh, okay.
Better on
Stand
that
like
side.
next to me.
Just punch Drexel in the face.
Side works.
Yeah, punch Drexel in the face the way
Wow,
you did.
rude.
All right, so we were asking the question. The fandom was better when everybody hated us. Hot or cold, Thomas?
When did they hate us? I thought they have always kind of hated us.
Yeah, but they're saying that it's more mainstream nowadays, so that the whole bunch of like people who used to be normies, like it was not cool to be a furry before, and now a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon. Like it's normalized. Like Hot Topic sells furry merch nowadays. Was the fandom better when everybody hated us? Is the question.
I liked it better when it just was smaller. That was part of it. Because it was a smaller fandom. I mean, social media was smaller back then, too.
True.
So, like, when I got into it, you had to do more, I guess, legwork, I guess you could say, to be able to find where furry even was. So it felt more niche, and, like, we were kind of a hole-in-the-wall fandom, whereas Trekkies and all that all the bigger stuff, those have existed forever and have been out there a lot longer than us.
Dude, it was...
They kind of had their...
When me and you were a kid, finding furry fandom stuff was like, you find forum boards that were just like listed of images. It's like some ancient archives where people are just posting things and there's not even a chat or anything like that. This is back when MSN was like the messenger.
Random weird fursuit pictures that, I mean, they're mascot grade, because remember, everything had to be like mascot grade.
Oh, yes, 100%.
Yeah, keep the head on all the time, and all the weird rules.
Oh, dude, back when people like hated us, you could only have like you had your main fursuit. You couldn't do any sex stuff in it, stuff like that. Never. Yep, right. You had to have your secret suit if you wanted to do horny stuff in fursuit. Whatchamacallit? You had to cleanse your palate, otherwise everybody would hate on you. What other things could you not do back in the day? Going out in public.
Speaking in suit was one of them.
Oh yeah, speaking in suit. Holy shit.
Suit.
You were not allowed to talk. Back when furry was everybody hate us, you were not allowed to talk in suit. I think it was like Majira or whatever that broke like that taboo, but he still had to have a secret suit. Good?
No, Twitch the Wolf was the first one to really break that.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
That
Twitch
was
the Wolf.
before, that was because I'm still friends with him, and he talks about it a lot.
Like, here's the thing. Back when everybody hated us, there was a lot of taboos that you weren't allowed to do in furry. And, like, other furries would get mad at you. Like, some of the first things, like, when you were a fursuit, you had to be in character. There wasn't the, oh, you get just to frolic around and be just like your normal self and, like, in the fursuit. You had to be in character. Never break character. Don't show your face at the con, stuff like that. Like, if you're fursuiting, don't break the magic.
Yeah, you can't take the head off. We
Yeah.
didn't have headless lounges either for quite a while.
No,
Leprechaun, I think, was the first one to finally do that.
if you're dying of thirst, fucking get that heat stroke before you get to your room.
You'd sneak off into a hallway somewhere and kind of pop the head a little bit and grab a cup of water and just like shove it in there because nobody's supposed to. see
Oh,
it with the
dude,
head off. It was
poodling was
stupid.
bad. There was no poodling back in the day. What are you talking about?
There's still people that complain
You're not
about
allowed
that.
to break kayfabe wearing a suit.
Yeah, so I feel like the fandom might have been more sanitized back when whatchamacallit, when everybody's hating us, because they were getting so much hate, they had to sanitize their image. And nowadays, now that nobody hates us, we're allowed to be unsanitized and we're allowed to be more of our true self. So I say this is a hot take that the fandom was worse back when everybody hated us because we couldn't freely express ourselves, and that's what the fandom's all about: is freedom of expression and doing what you like.
I kind of forgot it was that lockdown. You're right.
Right?
It's better now.
Everybody looks
I like, I'm into shiny stuff.
Yeah.
I used to have to hide that when I was at cons. Now you
right.
the full things, whatever, like at FWA, they're gonna have on the night market or whatever it is they have there. Every con has a night market now.
Exactly.
20 years ago, that was never gonna happen.
Back in the day, back when everybody hated us, the fandom had to be sanitized to be family friendly so the outsiders would shut the fuck up. Nowadays, the outsiders know what's going on and we can just be loud and bark. All right, Fluffy Grape says, some kinks shouldn't be allowed the way they are in this fandom. Hot or cold, Usagi?
Cold.
Cold, okay.
Depends on the kink.
Okay. Drexel.
Yeah, I'll have to go with cheesecake. It really depends.
I'm going to call this undefined. Saying some kinks and doing quotation marks, they're basically asking you to fill in the blank of what kink you disagree with, stuff like that. They need to define what kink is problematic.
Yeah.
And like,
Such a spectrum.
right? And why are you kink shaming, bro? Why are you kink shaming? What if Gotham Dog wants to put on a diaper and do Brazilian fart porn to his partner? Is that something that they shouldn't do in the front lobby? Like, come on, who are you to say that Gotham Dog should not do Brazilian fart diaper fetish porn in the middle of the lobby? Like, come on, guys. If you guys don't know, Gotham Dog is like right in front of us. He's been watching this whole time, so I'm just roasting him. They don't actually like that stuff. Or maybe they do. All right, from Jang. At large, this fandom highlights discourse, and you are disposable within it. For the best community experience, stick around your friends and the bubble you've made for yourself. So basically what they're saying is a hot take. Stick around with your community and don't try to go into the popular discourse. You know what? I'm trying to summarize this, but it's not easy to summarize. What they're saying is, if you want to have a good time in the fandom, keep your friends close and know that outside your friend group that things are more volatile. Hot or cold, Usagi?
That's cold.
Cold. Jeez.
Freezing.
Drexel?
Cold.
This is literally just the human experience. Oh, I'm in this, I go to this corporate event with all these people who are all vying for a job. And I have my friends at home that I've cultivated. What's going to be a better group of people hanging around with? The friends you've cultivated or the randoms in the world? The randoms that don't actually care about your well-being or the people that love and care about you? I wonder which one is going to be better. All right, Max Robo says, there's a lot of furries who don't respect boundaries, especially when it comes to close relationships. They treat it like some sort of challenge, and it's weird. They also claim being poly when actually they're just cheaters. Don't drag people into your shit. Hot or cold?
Cold. That's cold.
I'm gonna say cold on this one.
Drexel.
It's cold. There's definitely not a lot, but there is probably a subset, of course.
You know what's funny about this? I've actually experienced everything that they're talking about. Not personally, but people have come to me for like advice, being just like, Jake, so I have this guy that I really, really like, and they have a boyfriend, but they came out over to me and they're just like, hey, whatchamacallit, do you want to also date me? Because like I really like you too. I find that poly in the furry fandom has turned into a whatchamacallit, I have my cake and eat it too, instead of actually being people who are open to polyamorous relationships, and they tend to fall apart and crack very quickly. I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but true poly in humans is a rare kind of experience, and then a lot of people walk into poly relationships because they have the fear of missing out on a person if they don't accept and submit to the poly rules. Basically, they're like trading their happiness for the chance at something that they want. Is that a hot or cold take? I'm gonna let these guys tell me whether what I just said is hot or cold.
I say it's cool.
Cold? Cold.
Cold.
You heard it here, folks. Usagi, Cheesecake, and Drexel thinks that your poly relationship is bullshit. Wow, I was expecting one of you guys to say no to that. I was expecting one of you guys to condemn me.
Wait, poly relationships?
I made a dumb hot take right there. That was such a hot take, and none of you stopped me. Chat, this is the power of a poppy fur.
I was waiting for Jake to respond.
Whatever you say, you can get away
Just
with.
going with maturity.
Yeah. Oh God, Drexel's a crowdsourcer. All right. Ghoulie says,
Reading.
nuking your gallery is not a clean slate for your online presence. Everyone knows what you made, and it's best to just own up to it. Okay, I feel like this is somebody calling out somebody personally and isn't actually something that we can dive into.